What jobs exist solely because we're dumb? Once I met a guy whose job was to dirty potatoes. It turns out that before potatoes reach the store, some company in the supply chain cleans them thoroughly. But for the store, this is bad because many people don't trust overly clean potatoes. So they need someone to dirty them up to make them look more natural. You're not joking right now, are you? I'm not joking. But this was a couple of years ago. Maybe things have changed now. I'd like to see those customers who buy potatoes based on the clean, dirty principle. It's funny how they're choosing from 2 batches of absolutely identical potatoes. Nope. In the UK, there was recently some info about a big egg supplier deliberately sprinkling eggs with straw and feathers to make their organic eggs look more organic. Fortnite coaches. I don't believe it. That's all nonsense. This can't be real. Edited. I've received many responses from you, and it seems like you've misunderstood me a bit. Initially, I wrote this purely as a joke because, well, you know, everyone hates Fortnite. I actually love video games, and I'm thrilled that such professions are emerging now. I fully support all of this. The future is already here, old-timer. Just not my future. My younger 18-year-old brother is planning to enroll in a university for an esports program. I'm amazed that such an opportunity exists now, and I haven't quite figured out if this angers me or if I'm just envious of my brother. A few years ago, I had a part-time job in a trendy store. Inside it, there was an escalator that went from the 2nd floor to the 1st. Once, they closed that escalator for a month for repairs. Despite the many warnings around it, urging people to use the elevator and stairs instead, people still rushed to that escalator, so they had to assign a worker there to redirect everyone. At one point, I started to get scared by how many people couldn't read and just dashed through the barriers. There were also those who got angry because we didn't let them use the escalator. It's amazing how people managed to live before those moving steps were invented. Sometimes at work, I had to close roads due to accidents. The number of people trying to bypass road barriers is mind-boggling. I have a second job where I just input data. I earn $25 an hour for copying and pasting information from websites into Excel spreadsheets. Well, I also do some formatting. You know you can automate this with Excel, right? Yeah, that's how programming takes jobs away from people. If you ever decide to do it, don't tell anyone. If they start suspecting something, keep stringing them along with excuses. I did that at my old job. After I left, they went back to copy-paste. I work in first-level tech support. Have you tried turning the device on and off? Well, yes, of course, I've tried that. Then, maybe you could try blowing air through the cable. Who knows? Dust might have gotten in there and now it's causing a problem? Oh, what are you saying? Turns out the cable was just loose? This is unbelievable. Anyway, have a good day. Have you tried turning the device on and off? Oh, that was 2 weeks ago. I don't remember anymore. My laptop is at home now. I can't try. I'm driving. Any job related to network marketing? Chicks on Instagram selling weight loss teas and having entrepreneur in their profiles? I'm talking about you. Dude, not long ago, I got a call from a friend I hadn't seen since high school. I graduated from school a long time ago, so it was really strange to see a call from him. Honestly, given our age, I immediately thought something horrible happened. Maybe someone died among our common friends. I rushed out of the office and answered the call, preparing to hear some unpleasant news. But as soon as we started talking, he immediately started luring me into some network scheme. Man, I was so mad at him. Dude, you're too old for all this nonsense. Don't fall for those non-working get-rich-quick schemes. Detective psychics. Because why trust the intuition of a professional detective? We have a guy at our university whose job is to stand next to the trash and make sure people throw their garbage into the correct bins. In our school, we used to have a persistent problem. The recycling bins got contaminated with the wrong garbage. At one point, it got so bad that the waste disposal company refused to service our school for a few months. Eventually, they redesigned all the recycling bins to make it extremely clear what could be thrown into them and what couldn't. Regular trash bins were placed nearby. And what do you think? People still throw food and other stuff into the recycling bins. I work as an attendant at a self-service gas station. Honestly, all I need to do is press the emergency button if someone suddenly pours gasoline not into the fuel tank or a gas can. Oh, and when I leave, I have to turn everything off. Have you ever had to warn a biker from a gang? In my case, it was the Pagans gang, known for their brutality, who likes to smoke at the gas station. Well, I had to do it once. I debated for a long time whether to do it or not, and now I know it's not worth it. Next time, I'll just grab some popcorn and enjoy the fiery show from a safe distance. Homeopaths. Yeah, they're everywhere in Germany, and the funniest thing is that their services are covered by insurance. What nonsense. The same problem in the Netherlands. Even my mom believes in all this crap, even though she's a medical worker herself. I wouldn't mind this placebo if it wasn't so expensive. No matter how many facts you hit my mom with, it won't change her mind. Meth lab cleaners. It's really sad to see how this industry is developing in Australia. We have the same problem in Arkansas. The whole state is flooded with that stuff. I work as a safety manager. Most of my job involves approaching people and telling them things that seem obvious to most, like, please don't smoke near this flammable liquid. Dude, I work for the government and deal with hazardous waste disposal. Once a month, like clockwork, I see someone standing near my booth smoking right under a no smoking sign. Seriously, man? Just 4 meters away from you are 750 liters of highly flammable Class 1 liquids. Bouncers at nightclubs and bars. It's funny how drunk people can behave so foolishly that we need people willing to handle them so others can have a good time. I was at a concert earlier this week and saw a drunk couple being thrown out of the venue for behaving too aggressively. I think we underestimate how much those in this profession enhance our evening experience. If you don't like that bouncers are at the club entrance, then you're quite the jackass. I used to work at a club too. Can't say I dealt with aggressive people all that often. Mostly just drunk idiots. Once, a drunk girl came up to me crying because she couldn't find the exit. The exit was 2 meters away from me. There was a big green sign above it. Paparazzi and journalists who write gossip columns. If they weren't around, how would I know what celebrities wear in their free time? I work at an aquarium. We have people here whom I call floor guides. In theory, their job is to approach visitors and provide interesting information about the exhibits. But in reality, they exist to ask people not to stick their hands into the tanks with rays and turtles. Because for some reason, people can't figure that out on their own. I hear the phrase, why can't we pet the rays every single day? Guys who cushion poles and telephone booths so that we don't break our noses when we crash into them while texting. I recently saw a woman stop right in the middle of a busy pedestrian crossing. She was completely engrossed in her phone conversation. She didn't seem to realize what was happening until people started honking at her. And then she proceeded to curse out the drivers. Just that comment alone raised my blood pressure. People like that drive me crazy. Ticket-selling companies that sell tickets bought from other ticket-selling companies. I work in tech support too. My job exists solely because of people's ignorance. By the way, here's some advice from a professional. Computers break not because they don't do what you're asking them to. They break because they do exactly what you're asking them to do. My first job after college was standing next to an Aldi grocery store helping people figure out the carts that required a coin. So yeah, I was just telling people how to put a coin in the cart, and then how to reattach it to the others and get their coin back. Screw all of that. I lost my mind on that job. Television evangelists. I hope one day I live to see the day when people stop giving money to these charlatans buying mansions and private jets, believing they've earned it all because God loves them. Many people constantly criticize the U.S. Coast Guard, but they don't realize that these guys have to deal with the most dangerous creatures on Earth, drunk boat owners. My husband is a labor lawyer at a giant company, and every month he holds seminars where he tells people that it's not allowed to harass each other at work. And like clockwork, 2 weeks later someone gets caught doing it after attending the seminar. Once upon a time in America, a major company had countless designers, marketers, and PR people. Their task was to come up with a forest mascot, a bear in a hat, that would urge people not to start fires in the woods. I'm a lawyer. 90% of the time we deal with 10% of our clients. And then they blame us for getting into trouble while doing exactly what we told them not to. We're still in business thanks to dim-witted people. Park and beach attendants who make sure people don't litter. I remember when I was a kid, my mom loved taking my brother and me to the park. Once I had a piece of gum wrapper in my pocket, so I headed toward the trash bin to throw it away. Turns out, a police officer was patrolling nearby and saw me heading to the bin. He came up to me, said I did a good deed, and gave me a coupon for free ice cream. I responded that it wasn't a big deal, as everyone does that. He replied, "No, definitely not everyone." I still don't understand why some people find it so hard to carry their trash to a bin. I work at a store that sells pool accessories. Most of the time, my job is just babysitting people from the moment they enter until they leave. The problem is that people know nothing about pools and have no idea what equipment they have. To understand my job, imagine a grocery store where there's a guy you can approach to ask what you need. The customer comes up and says, "Well, I think I need a vegetable." The guy responds, "Okay, what does this vegetable look like?" "Well, I don't know, round, I guess." What color?" I don't know, not sure if it's gray, brown, or green." The guy starts going through all the vegetables that match the description, and it turns out the customer actually needed a watermelon. So the guy goes to the right aisle and brings the watermelon because if he lets the customer do it, he might accidentally grab a pumpkin instead. That's my job. Thanks for watching, friends. In the video comments, you can share jobs that exist only because we're dumb. Plus, I suggest checking out our other episodes. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.